That's 18-year-old Arjun Erigaisi, who achieved something simply phenomenal at the Lindores Abbey Blitz tournament. So the FIDE Grand Swiss ended, and on the next day itself, there was a Blitz tournament organized in the same venue. It was called the Lindores Abbey Blitz, and in that, Arjun was playing, and all the players were playing. All the top guys were there, and guess what Arjun did? He scored 13 and a half out of 18. That's his scorecard there. He started off with a massive 10 and a half out of 11. He was 9 out of 9, then drew a game with Martirosyan, then beat Caruana. In the end, he slowed down a bit with two losses, one against Caruana, one against Jiang, two losses to Shevchenko, but picked up pace in the end to beat Korobov 2-0 and take home the third place of the tournament. So it was like 18 rounds, and each player had to play the opponent twice with opposite colors. And these are the top three players. First place went to Shevchenko from Ukraine, second one to Fabiano, and third one to Arjun. Tremendous performance by the Indian youngster. Also Shevchenko for finishing first, which is simply amazing because they were all top players playing in this event. But the amazing thing was that Arjun gained 107 elo points. So from 2616, he raced up to 2723. And he's now world number 32 in Blitz, India number 3 in Blitz. Isn't that simply unbelievable? And yeah, he in one tournament, he's now like right at the top. World India number 1 is Vishy Anand. You can see world number 4 at 2825. Then we have Vidit at world number 24, and next we have Arjun there. So let's have a look at a couple of games by Arjun, a few of these games, and let's try to learn from them. I tried to pick up some interesting moments. So that firstly, in the second round, he played against Levon. And I think that match that he had against Levon in the Champions Chess Tour did help him. So in this position, Arjun is white and Levon has just taken the pawn on e3, and black is completely better if you see. And this is where Arjun, shows great resourcefulness. First, he goes for the move f4 here, attacking the queen. Levon takes g takes f3, and now rook dg1. So your task now as black is to find a winning move for black. Not easy, but check if you can. So Levon played queen f6, which was a blunder, because after knight g4, it's already becoming difficult to hold on to everything. h6 is also hanging. The game ended with fe2, knight f6, rook f6, and queen e2, king h7, queen g4, when it's going to be checkmate. The winning idea was very cute, and that was not a queen f6, but f takes e2. And the point is that after you take on g5, by the way, if you play queen e2 here, then rook f2 is very strong. So rook g5 here. And now comes the move check. Very, very cool move. And if now rook takes f1, then pawn takes. By the way, first if knight takes, there is e1 queen, game over. And if you play rook takes f1, then I take, knight takes. And this is a tactic which you should always know, e2. And when a knight is attacked by a pawn on the 7th rank, it'll either pick up the knight and win, or it will become a queen. And so black would have won. However, Levon couldn't find this and he lost. In the next game against Levon, I liked how Arjun managed to once again outwit his opponent. So the position reached was this one. Arjun is black here, and he played a very nice move. It was this interesting opening, by the way, which goes like this, and Arjun was brave enough to pick up the pawn, which is maybe not the best idea, but in blitz it's okay. Check, take, and knight e5. And now here, black to play. What do you do? Bishop c5. Very nice move. And after check, you put your king on e7. Here, rook d1 was played, and it was important now for Arjun to be careful. a6 would have been a good move. Instead, he went rook d8, and this is a mistake. It's white to play. Find the winning move for white. So the rook moving here surprisingly leaves the h7 pawn undefended, and it might seem like a completely irrelevant pawn, but the point is you go queen c4, hitting this bishop, and let's say if you try to save it, say queen b6, then I swing over here with a check, and if f6, now queen takes h7. So you will see that because this rook moved too soon, it resulted in black's king almost coming under a brutal attack. Now this is just lost position. But Levon went a4, which was a bad move, and now Arjun just took over. He played queen c7, f6, d4, and black is just 2 pawns up, and Arjun went on to win. Although not without excitement, but it was a smooth win. Beating Levon 2-0 was already amazing. And next we go to his game against, this was against David Howell. And David Howell has been in tremendous form throughout this event. But here, after queen takes d6, David went d4. And it's black to move. What would you play here? So a natural move to expect is e4. But Arjun was very alert. He saw that the king is in the center and he attacked the queen with knight b4. Very good move. Queen went back, and now, okay, e4 is also possible, but he went queen c7. I think queen d1 would have been better, so that rook can always come to c1 if needed. Queen b1 here, takes, and now knight e4, and black is doing really well here. But knight c2 was a bit hurried, and after king d1, it's white who is better now. But Arjun, always resourceful, he first goes bishop f5, e takes f6. The point is that if you do this and win the queen, you have given up too much material already. So he went here for a very nice move, black to play. Now you have to be resourceful in blitz, and he played the move d4. Very good. Whatever takes on d4, let's say knight, then I'll take with the knight and I'll attack your queen, defending my bishop. So he took pawn takes, now knight d4 still. And here is where David went wrong. He took the knight. Instead, if he had gone bishop d3, the position would have remained very interesting. Here, it's not so easy for white to continue, because if you take with the queen, I have rook d8 check and then rook e8, and it's almost a mate. In the game, he took with the bishop, hoping that he would have 3 pieces for the queen. But here, now Arjun once again very sharp, black to play. Take on d4, knight takes, and queen c3. Attacks the bishop and the knight, and Arjun beat David Howell in this game. Very well played game, I would say. Of course, there were some errors, but I liked overall how alert he was. Moving to the next game between the two, just this opening is worth knowing for you. So Arjun is white, and he plays this system with a5. The point is to put the queen here. Now the rook is attacked. So you take. And what I had learned here is that after c5, knight bd7, this pawn is weak. So you go knight d2, knight b3, knight a5. And then eventually, many times you can sacrifice, let's say he defends with rook b8, rook b7, and bishop a6, and get passers in the position. So Arjun very nicely does this, and I like how he plays. Also, notice how tactically sharp he is. So here d4 is hanging. So he goes knight e2, defending it. And when bd3, we might go for moves like bishop b2, but Arjun tactically alert, knight g3. And his point is that if you now take on d4, I will go knight f5 and get back the pawn. So very alert, knight e7, knight h5, castles. And you can see here both the knights. This is very nice position, one on a5, one on h5. He took, and I think he was better. But then the position so happened that Black managed to stabilize. His one rook is tied down here, defending the knight, defending the pawn. But the rest of the pieces, White has no way to break through. And they both were moving around here and there, and it seemed like they would agree to a draw. But Arjun had ambitions. And here, White to move, what do you do? I love how, these equalish positions turn ugly. Rook h8 was not a good move, practically speaking. G4 is the right move. Now you can't take with the h pawn because because rook is hanging here. You can't take with the knight because h5 would fall. So he took with the f pawn, and now bishop h4, attacking the knight. And now came another strong move. White to play f5. And notice how the bishop is coming to g3 to attack the rook, and now b7 would fall. It's amazing, yeah. This king c8. And once again, you will see that Arjun doesn't hurry. He first goes bishop e5. Howell says, okay, now my b7 is defended. Let me take the rook away. But now king f2. King is coming here to g3. You can see how slowly White has improved the position. Maybe he was also planning to, kind of enter like this. And by now, Howell under big pressure lost on time. So a great game by Arjun. I felt this was a very nice one. And Arjun has this very dual style of play that in some games he's ready to sacrifice material, and in some games he's ready to take material and then defend. So it's like in this one against Rauf Mamedov, like Arjun just ate the material and then defended. For just to take you through the opening, he plays the Petrov a lot. Takes here is all well-known stuff. And here takes, bishop takes. Now rook b1 is the main move, but in blitz, bishop a3 is the best idea. Queen a1. And now you can see how he defends. First, bishop e6. Then g6, stopping f5. Then here rook c8, giving back some material. c5, now wanting to castle. Queen c7. Bishop d7. Take, and queen c6. And he had already beaten back the attack, and now he's going to castle. And he won the game. Tremendous. Just simple chess. So, another example of Arjun's understanding. And also, with the white pieces, he is usually opening his games with d4. He played with Haik Martirosyan. And this is the position where white to play. What would you do? Yeah, very nice exchange sack here, but it was not like a tough combination. It's just that now knight d7, and it's over, yeah, because this is hanging with a check. Then this would hang. He went rook e1, and then he won the queen, and he went on to win the game. I think the best game played by Arjun on the day was against Fabiano Caruana. Beautiful game, and we're going to have a look at that now. The game which he beat him. Knight f3, d5, d4. It was the Catalan, which he likes to play a lot. Bishop d6, knight c3, c6, queen c2, e4, takes. This is all played before. Here the main move is knight d7, but Fabi went c5, bishop c3, knight c6, long castle, queen e7, bishop g2, bishop d7, and now, guys, starts fireworks. First, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, and now white to play. What do you do here? Kudos to you if you found this. Take, take. And now, how do you continue? Try to think. Knight g5. Threatening a mate, so g6. And now what do? Knight h7. So if king takes, there is queen h4. With the bishop, it leads to a mate. So he played f5. Now knight f8, attacking the queen. And white is already a pawn up with a lot of weaknesses in black's camp. And Arjun converted it beautifully. He first took another pawn, got his rook to the 7th, pushed his pawn up the board, and went on to win this very clean. Here, white to move. How do you win? So queening is possible, but after rook d7, the game is still not so clear. Black has a rook and a bishop for a queen. So Arjun says, anyway, I have to give up this rook. So let's sack it. And now queen. And he won the game. So beating Fabiano Caruana in this brutal style was amazing. Of course, Fabi got back one of his wins there, which was very cool. And you will see that Arjun's games are filled with these little tactics all the time. He's very, very alert. Like here you can see against Jeong, this is the position white to play. What do you do? So normal way to continue could be queen e2 here, which is fine. But he went knight c6. Take e5. Rook c8. Take on f6. And now after queen f6, again a tactical shot. White to play. What do you do? Pause the video. Try to think. Bishop c6. Pawn takes d5. Attacking the rook and the queen. So queen c3, dc6. Knight c4. And now with this extra material, Arjun went on to beat Jeong here. He lost 2 games to Shevchenko, and I think that is where, Shevchenko managed to come back in the tournament, like he won the event. But what was commendable is that after losing 2-0 to Shevchenko and the tide clearly against him, he was facing Korobov, and Korobov played the exchange Slav with him. Now, generally with black, when you're facing a strong blitz player like Korobov, it's very difficult to win in such games. But this is where we reached, and now from this point onwards, the way Arjun plays this endgame, like firstly Korobov makes an error with queen c5. The mistake is because of a very nice reason. You first take, and you attack this pawn. Now the knight is tied up, so he brings the king, and now Arjun goes f6. Very important move. Takes, king takes, and now he gets in e5. Threatening e4, e4, knight d4, check, and wins a pawn and wins this endgame. So very, very strong play by Arjun. Even from a relatively equal position, you can see that he's always looking for tactics, always alert there for what's happening. And the last game, the end was the prettiest, I would say. Like here, by the way, there was this important moment here. This is the position. It's crazy, completely crazy position. But black had a way to get an advantage here. And he had to find this very nice move, knight c7. Attacking the bishop here. Both bishops looking at each other. And if white takes, you take on d5. And then b6 is hanging. But Korobov took on e5, and this is where Arjun again showed his class. He did not save his rook. He understood that more important is the king. So he took on g5, very good move. Bishop a1. And now g6, threatening to take here. So knight f6. Now queen entered the game. Played rook a2, and now white to play. How do you finish the tournament with a high? Of course, you sacrifice the queen, and Korobov resigned because if knight takes, there is rook takes, king g8, and knight e7 mate. With this, Arjun finished the tournament with some brilliant chess. I think overall, Arjun, this was not a one game thing, one tournament thing, that Arjun played amazingly well, and that he is now, gained 100 ELO points. This is not a one-off thing. I feel from his games, you could sense it that he is very strong, and he'll be playing at Tata Steel Chess India as well, and it will be very exciting to see how he will perform there. He is going to take part in the rapid event there. So maybe, as you can see right now, Arjun's rapid rating is slightly lower than his blitz is 2723, his classical is 2629, and his rapid rating is 2323. So expect another gain of some 200 elo points there. But for now, I'll leave you guys with that. Please do send in your congratulations to this youngster. He has truly achieved something phenomenal. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.